So if you're anything like me and if you do a lot of driving, you wake up the next morning or even get out of the car and feel like you're about 30 years older than you are, stiff and sore, so this video is for you. We look after lots of truck drivers, people that work interstate, people that travel overseas a lot. And so I'm going to go through a couple of stretches that I want you to do before you drive or travel, or if you're at the end of the day after you've done a big day in the tractor or whatever it may be. There's two muscles, the hamstrings and also the hip flexors. These muscles are muscles that naturally when you sit, their insertion point and their attachment point basically shortens, which means the muscle shortens. Over time, the muscle gets shorter, you get really stiff, and that's what causes that discomfort as you get out of the car or the next morning. First one, the hamstring. I'm gonna go through this. When you're stretching the hamstrings, remember there's three of those muscles. So I'm gonna take you through a way to get all three. Bringing the leg up, you wanna have the toe pointing straight up, you wanna have the leg straight, you wanna have the back straight. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lean forward on that. That's all I have to do, and I can feel that stretch there now. Holding that for a minute, and then we're gonna turn the whole leg in and lean forward again. Now you'll find that I'm not trying to touch my toes. I'm not trying to bend my back at all. I'm just trying to keep my back straight. My foot and my toes are facing inwards, and I'm holding that for another minute. And then I'm gonna turn the foot all the way out and leaning forward. Same position again, back, legs straight, toes pointed on the outside, and hold that for a minute. Obviously doing that on both legs. The second muscle is going to be the hip flexor. A little bit hard muscle to describe in terms of its location, but essentially it's on the inside of the pelvis, attaches on the front of the spine and comes down and attaches to a bone known as the femur. Again, when you sit down, that insertion point and that attachment point shortens, which means the muscle gets so much shorter than what it really is. A sure sign to know whether this muscle is tight is if you get out of the car and it almost takes a little while to stand up. You know, it's as if something's giving way and then you can walk. That's a big indication that your hip flexor is super tight. Several ways you can do to stretch this. I'll just move that one out of the way. I'm going to be, in this demonstration, stretching the right hip flexor. So my back leg is straight, my front leg is bent. I'm lunging forward with my pelvis, but my chest stays back. So that looks like this. Just stay steady. Coming back. Now to make it a little bit more accentuated, to feel a little bit more, I'm going to squeeze the right buttock and I'm going to feel that pull on the inside here. Hold that for a minute. You can make that a little bit even, a little bit more of a stretch. You can actually kneel down, and in this same movements, I'm lunging forward, my chest, don't go like this. Keep the chest back, squeezing that right buttock, and you'll feel it even more through that area. Right? If you do these two stretches, it's going to make a huge difference on how stiff you are at the end of the day. When you wake up the next morning, you won't have that tightness in that lower back area. It's something that, I travel, 3 times a fortnight to Inverell and back, and I make sure that I do this before I jump in the car and that night when I get back, and it just makes such a big difference. If you've got any other questions or suffer any other dramas if you are traveling or doing a lot of sitting down, just let me know and we're here to help. Enjoy.